Well, joining us live is Brett Winterford, Global Head of Threat Intelligence for Okta. Sorry about pronouncing your name incorrectly, but Brett, great to see you and thank you so much for joining us. So Qantas is not an Okta customer, but last week, of course, Qantas experienced that cyber attack. 6 million people impacted. What can you tell us about that situation?
Well, thank you for having me on the show, Janie. This incident is something we're pretty familiar with at Okta. This is an adversary that we track very closely. They are a group of young people, globally distributed, but mostly in Western countries, and they're social engineering specialists. So what they do is they tend to call the IT help desk of a targeted organisation, someone that they want to breach, and they will pretend to be a very senior executive in that organisation and ask for something as simple as their password to be reset or MFA factors to be reset so that they can gain access to that account and then move laterally to access the systems and data they need in order to perform an extortion event or deploy ransomware, that is software that will cripple access to that data until a payment is made to them. So this is something we've seen at scale over 3 or 4 years now among our global customers. Very interesting to see this happening in Australia now.
And tell us about Okta, because I believe you had your own incident last year. What did Okta do?
So Okta is the world's identity platform. So we help a lot of organisations secure that sign-in process, the enrolment, the authentication and recovery of identities. So we have been targeted by these individuals ourselves historically. Our customers have been targeted historically. And what we've had to do over time is learn how to accommodate to these styles of attack that really go for the weakest link. Often it is your business process outsourcer, someone who is working on behalf of your organisation, who is gold or motivated and incentivized to please you, to help you, to make sure that your staff are having a great experience. We've had to make a huge amount of investments in our security program over the last few years to ensure that our users are only ever authenticating using 100% passwordless, phishing-resistant forms of authentication, and that we have really buttoned down processes for whenever anybody is trying to reset or revoke a factor.
And how can individuals stay protected?
For individuals, I guess if you're a Qantas customer for the moment, there is no specific actions required of you. If you're a Qantas customer, the most important thing to do is to remain vigilant at the moment. You need to be making sure that any time you sign into a Qantas property, that it is Qantas.com, Qantas is never going to ask you to change your password or to hand over a credential to them on a phone call or via an email to you. Make sure you're logging in via their app or via Qantas.com. There are no other actions you can really take because a lot of users don't really have much agency here. The information that was stolen, while thankfully it wasn't signing credentials and it wasn't financial information, most of the information that was stolen were not things that you can readily change. You can't change your date of birth or your name or your contact details or your frequent flyer number. The onus is going to be on Qantas to make the necessary investments they need to make to ensure that users are protected.
And we've got about a minute to go, Brett, but can you tell us a bit more about these hackers and what's behind them, how many there are and what you're looking out for?
This adversary, they collaborate with each other. They're loosely affiliated. There is no kind of hierarchy or command structure here. This is a bunch of young Western people inhabiting various online forums that collectively they call the Com. So think of it as like a community. They share a lot of resources with each other. And when any of these attackers have success against one particular organisation in an industry, like, for example, aviation, there tends to be a bit of a pile-on effect where the rest of the individuals will then try and one-up their colleagues and attempt to access the data of other airlines, for example. So we've seen them do this against gaming companies. A few years ago, they recently had a spate of attacks against UK retailers, US insurers, now aviation. There are a large number of these individuals, and about half a dozen of them have been arrested at this point. There is a lot of law enforcement activity focused on these individuals, but it does take a little time for law enforcement to get their arms around them. So I think organisations need to assume that these attacks are going to continue.
Yeah. So much in this. I'd love to talk more, but we've got to wrap it up. Brett, thank you so much. I'd love to get you back on and talk about AI and the impact that's having as well. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thanks, Janie.